All right.
Yep.
And the last thing
Ugh.
we're going to actually, I'm not going to talk very much. This is Lynn's topic. He's salty.
I feel like I'm stuck in a fucking time loop. Same shit. Even when I went to PT today, not the bar, but when I was at physical therapy, my guy, shout out to David, appreciate you for always working on me. He was mentioning how I was talking about the same topic last year, trying to make it as accurate as I possibly can with what knowledge I have. Is again, I'm back in the route of trying to find a home. I want to get an actual place, be it a condo, townhome, house, whatever I can. I want a mortgage. I don't want to do this rent shit. My lease is going to be up soon in the next month or so, and I wanted to start hunting the market.
Yep.
Now, last year, I mentioned to you that I was trying to do the same thing. I was still working at my previous job, making good money, but not enough to where I had 10 grand in credit card debt. I had a car payment and stuff like that, and I qualified for barely 190,000, which at the market's rate was okay. Not great, but the interest rate was only at a 3.3, which now knowing that that's not bad at all.
Right.
So, fast forwarding to now, almost a year later, I have a promotion that I got last year with what I'm doing now with my teaching stuff, and my credit card debt went down. But because of my car getting totaled and having to get a new car, I have a higher car payment. Things should have balanced themselves out.
Should have.
Go to qualify for another loan, and they barely want to bump me up 10 grand. And now the APR or the interest rate is now at a 6 rather than a 3. So I keep hearing from people left and right, or my realtor person that I'm going through, and loan people saying the same shit, like Captain Hindsight shit, like, oh, you would have qualified for 300,000 if you didn't have a car. I'm like, well, thanks, Captain Hindsight. Like, I'm fucking aware. I know that.
Right.
What can you do to help me get to that area? Do I need to do something with my car? Should I just go fucking crash it somewhere?
Right.
Like, how can I reassess this? Because
He's not going to crash his car.
No. I need an idea. With me, I have this tendency, which makes it really, really hard, and I'm sure there's other people around me that are just like this. I plan so far ahead that it makes me stress out if I can't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes.
I can't be that person that if someone tells me, hey, I need you to go in this tunnel. I know it's dark. I know you can't see at the other end, but trust me, if you keep pushing through, something will happen over there.
Not good enough.
No, not good enough. If you tell me this tunnel is 500 miles long, but at the very end, you can see
something.
Salvation.
Yeah.
I will grind my ass off and walk for 500 miles because I can see where I'm going. I will not stop working. But I'm being told with just blind faith, like, oh, well, it could be 500 miles. It could be 5 miles.
Yeah. We
just
don't know.
Try to go through. And it's like, I can't chance that because I have no more backups. I have no more, I'll go stay with this one person. I'll go do this. I'll recess this. Even if I were to go and stay with somebody to save money, if the market is increasing up with a higher rate, and it goes from a 6 to a 7 to whatever, until I get a job that pays me even more money, next year, having no credit card debt or even a lower car payment, it wouldn't matter. That $400,000 house that got dropped down to $200,000 doesn't mean anything if I'm still paying this super high interest rate that matches the $400,000 house.
Right, it was almost like it balanced in the other direction.
Yeah, so great. Now I buy a fucking dump of a house in North Las Vegas, but I'm paying $4,000 a month. Yeah. Like it doesn't. Yeah, the balance. That's a good way of putting it. The scales are flipping. They're trying to make it to where the market looks cheaper, so you have an opportunity to get a better house.
Yes.
Because people that are holding these houses, the market's starting to notice. They're like, hey, this house isn't worth $500,000. Why are you sitting on it? So they're questioning it. They're trying to drop the rate down, but then they're trying to balance it out by pushing the interest back up. So it's just like, it seems like a fruitless cause. Like, I don't understand how it's in my dude, I don't even know how to word this shit.
Well, it's like I said, Vegas feels like it's turning into New York, where it's so expensive to live here as a local. You come here, because if you go to New York, say you're like a famous celebrity, you're staying at the best hotel, you have a nice car, you probably have somebody driving you around, valet, chauffeurs, all types of stuff. But as a regular person, you probably live damn near in like the shittiest part of New York, or you might have like a tiny little apartment.
It's and you're paying double the amount.
You know what I mean?
I was talking to someone about this. It's like, I'm not trying to be pessimistic and negative, but people that are coming from different states, I feel like there should have been a law where you have to be a resident for at least a year before you could buy.
That wouldn't make money.
That's what I'm saying. They're not making any money. Like, the residents that have been here for an X amount of time be able to buy a home at a normal rate.
Yes.
If you want to come here and just buy a spot from a different place, You have to stay in an apartment for a year, pay your dues, rent a home, do whatever, and then you can buy the house.
Oh, I
but
agree.
don't come from, like you said, from California where their houses are $500,000 and they're buying our $250,000 homes.
Yes.
Because they have the money to flex. Because people are getting so greedy, and realtors are like, oh, well, this is money.
Yeah.
I'll take this person. I don't even care if they're non-local. Mind you, now us locals can't even get fucking breadcrumbs.
Right.
And it's like, how much harder do I need to push as an individual until I can have my piece of pie? Because I'm telling you, like, I'm at that point now. It's like I can't grind any more than I already have.
Right.
I'm maxed out.
Right. I don't want my piece of pie in Vegas. I'll put
No.
it that way. Like we've talked about before. I will gladly move out to Pahrump. I've heard the stories. I don't care. I just want to get away from the hustle and bustle of the city because it feels like we're working. I'll put it this way. It feels like we're paying full price for bullshit. So like I bought a new laptop for the podcast. We paid $300. Laptop is great. It works, but it can barely handle the workload that me and you are putting on this
We're
thing.
slamming videos,
You know what I mean?
edits, everything.
Right.
Yeah.
It's chugging along, but it can barely handle it. So in about a year or two, we're going to need to buy another laptop. But this one's going to need $500, maybe a little bit more. So it's like we're paying premium price, but we're not getting the best quality
yeah.
product.
That makes sense. It's
You know?
like how much energy do you need to put in? Like why? And I was talking to some of my coworkers today because I work in a small team of like 8 to 10 of us. We all have our specialties and stuff. Defensive tactics being my primary, but I also am able to do report writing and stuff like that. Next week I have to do a bike academy. I did the bike academy to be an instructor like a month or two ago.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll be teaching my first class. So it's me and this other guy, the guy that I traveled with to Mississippi and Detroit. One of the girls that's partnered up with me, she's been training with me to do defensive tactics, but she's the primary person in report writing. So she trains me, I train her.
Nice.
Well, the bike academy's coming. We're going to be training her as a bike officer with other officers.
Nice.
And that's fine for me because it gets me away from work.
Right.
I can just ride around, fuck off, do whatever I
get
need to
fresh
do.
air.
I don't need to worry about anything else. But her position, they have her and my boy, they have them do all this admin shit in the side, like send out these emails, put this Excel sheet together, do this, and teach your class.
Yep.
I'm struggling just to teach the class
Right.
and maybe do a little bit of work here. And they're
Right.
doubling theirs in other aspects. And they're stressing out. And I told them the same thing. I was like, are they paying you any more money?
No.
They're like, no. We all make the same. But some of us get more work than others.
Yes.
And with how this department is, they don't want to give you any more money because we're technically maxed out in our bracket.
Yes.
So they're like, oh, we promise you, and they mentioned this last year, we will bump up, you're going to get promoted to salary, which puts you in a different bracket. We're tier 10.
Yeah.
The level's weird.
It's a tier system.
Yeah, so the tier will drop us to a tier 8, which is technically higher. Like my director is a tier 4. But at my last job, I was a tier 4 in security. Now, it's weird. They flip it. It's corporate-wise, the lower the tier, like the president of the company in security is a tier 1.
Yeah.
But as an officer on a property, you're a tier 1. So it goes reverse. Once you max out to tier 10, you go right back
It's
down.
in that particular
Rather than going it
category.
from 1 to 20,
Yeah.
you go 1 to 10 and then 10 back down to 1.
And then up to the next level.
So I
and then
maxed
come
out
back.
at tier
Okay.
4. I surpassed tier 5 to 10. I got in 10, and now I'm going back down the other way
Right.
to max out. So I'm at the bottom of my tier, but I'm above property
Yes.
officers.
What the regular people
Yes.
will be making. Yes.
So they want to move us up to like a level 8, but that has to move us to salary. So it's like, even if I ask, like, hey, can I get a pay raise?
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, we need to promote you.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, well, promote me. Well, it's not in the
can't do
budget.
that.
It's not in the budget. We can't. And you can't promote all of us because each one of us promoting would cost,
Hella money.
if you're looking at 70 grand per person and there's 10 people, that's almost $1 million. Think about that. $1 million for 7 people.
That's $700,000 plus dollars.
I understand the concept of it, but don't give us more work and expect us to be like, please, sir, can I have another?
Unfortunately, that's
'Cause
what it is, yeah.
Even the girl that I'm working with, she even said, she goes, I do good at my job. I take on more work. And rather than praising me and giving me more pay, if I
give you more
fuck
work.
up, they give me more work and then punish me for messing up.
Yes.
So I told him straight up, I was like, look, me and her and the other guy were like, we're just flying under the radar to come collect our
That's
checks
it.
and get out. I will do the
That's
bare
it.
minimum, but I will not take on any other task.
There you
If
go.
they tell me they need more from me, I'll tell them no.
Yes.
Because what are you going to do? Replace me?
Well, it's like I talked
it's-
about
it's
when
such
we
a small
first
group.
started the podcast. These places of employment need to realize it's called the law of diminishing returns, where I dealt with this with every company I worked with that sells any product. They're more willing to give a better deal to a brand new customer.
Shout out to Brandy and Jordan. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Thank you. Go ahead.
They'll give a great deal. So they'll say, okay, come over to our company. We'll give you a brand new iPhone XR, whatever. However, if you've been with the company for over 15 years, they won't give you really much anything of a discount. They won't give you any breaks, and if you miss your phone payment for just 1 month, they'll cut your line off. It's diminishing returns, where the longer you stay, the less you get. The more you do, the less you get.
There was a video that she sent me, or she showed me, and it was the same concept. It was a really, really cool video. So this guy was doing a, I don't want to eat up too much of our time of it, but this guy was doing a, like a public speaking, and he mentioned how he stayed at the Four Seasons Hotel, which is connected to Mandalay Bay. And he said, like, to shorten out this story, he met a barista working at the hotel, and he said, staying at the Four Seasons, he goes, it's not just a nice hotel, but everybody was so friendly. Everybody's saying, hi, hello, how are you? And you could generally tell that they cared about you. He was talking to this barista, and he asked this barista, he's like, hey, do you like your job? And without skipping a beat, the barista's like, I love my job. And he goes, well, why do you like your job? And he's like, well, the managers always come by and they ask me, what do I need? What can I help you with? What do I do? What can I do for you? And he goes, oh, is this your only primary job? I don't want to mess this up too much, but this same barista works for Caesars.
Oh.
And he says Caesars, because of the work that they do for the same thing, the management is more or less, what are you doing to make more money?
Yeah.
Why aren't you doing it this way? You need to do this in order to make it better. He's like, so at Caesars, I just go there to perform.
Yes.
And keep my head under the radar to get a paycheck, opposed to here, I enjoy being here,
Right.
which in terms boosts up morale.
Right.
So it comes to, if a management is willing to respect you and ask you what you need and give you more money in order to make you grow,
Yes.
and in terms makes the company look better.
Yes.
But if you're bullying everybody into doing all this extra work and not giving them any recognition or pay,
Right.
I'm just going to fly under the radar and
It
cash
kills
my
the
fucking
morale.
check.
And
kills the morale.
that's ultimately what it is, because I'm doing that in my job. I do the bare minimum. If you call me on anything, I go, are you going to fire me for it? They go, no. Okay, leave me alone.
Yeah, leave me alone.
Leave me the fuck alone.
And then
they just look at me.
I've gotten to that
dumbfounded.
point too. They were like my boss now. Like I don't take on any more tasks. If she just tells me I'm gonna need you to do this, I just look at her and go, well, no.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, you have to. I was like,
No, I don't.
I don't. It does not change anything. I'm here to teach. You
Show
want
me
to add
my
on
job
extra stuff?
description.
You want to add on extra stuff? Give it to somebody else.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not giving me all this extra work and stressing me the fuck out, and not getting
Right.
any extra money.
Right.
To wrap
it up.
Yeah. To turn this into a thing. There has to be, and by all means, anybody that can put this out in our email or our comments and stuff like that, comment down below or send out an email and tell me where you think, how do I phrase this? What would be a better method to progression in life? Meaning, should someone continue to grind harder and hope that they get recognized so they can move up in life? Or do you need to take an alternative path and do something alternative in order to get your just desserts?
I mean, see, that
Finesse the
question
system.
answers itself. It almost answers itself. And I'll put it this way. My current boss right now said it the best way. If you're at a company that does not respect you and they do not see your full potential, go to another company that will. Now, in our lifetime, we've been told job hopping is bad. The first year I was working, I think I had like 4 or 5 different jobs. Everyone was like, this looks bad. This looks bad.
Yeah.
However, now the job I have is paying me more than any other job I've ever had before, and that's because I was job hopping.
Yes.
I was chasing the dollar. So at this point, I put in enough time with this job. If I did go to another job, I would have some type of experience. But the question is that what I want?
That's what it's coming down to. And I'm noticing it with us hiring people in the department, is that they're hiring a bunch of fucking people. Like my guys, my instructors I was pulling from other properties, I worked with them. And it's not that I was hiring my friends. It's like these guys are just good at what they're doing. They're reliable. And I thought we'd be able to get them all transitioned in to come work with us.
Right.
And out of the 4 of them, we only got 1. And he's doing good, but it's like, all right, we're trying to get the rest of the boys in there because we need to start doing more work.
Yes.
They're giving us all this extra work and no extra help.
Yep.
So bring in the people that know this academy like the back of our hands, even though they don't work for us. And you don't have to train them. Just bring them in, and then we can just start running with it.
But why do that if the 2 of you can do it right now?
Exactly. And what they're doing now is like, oh, we're going to hire the people that have no experience in it.
Yes.
And they're coming in. And the reason why is because of their experience at other jobs.
It's
so they
so
want to
stupid.
hire someone in. So it's like, okay, do I need to leave this job in order to get recognized somewhere else? It's
Right.
I'm seeing the cycle that you're putting out.
It's a revolving
I'm picking
door.
up what you're putting down.
You know what I mean? But if you liked what we had to talk about today, please leave a comment on YouTube. If you would like, feel free to go to our website, projectairways.com. You can also send us an email at our email address, also in the description. I'm D.
This is Lynn.
Check us out on TikTok, Facebook. Check out our Patreon. Check out our YouTube. Check us out on Anchor. You can find us anywhere you want. Keep your head in the clouds.
And keep your feet on the ground, always moving forward.
Project Airwaves signing out. We will catch you in the next one. You did so good.
Real good.